Hello fellow YouTubers and gamers, my name is TTC9Able and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. So, I'm gonna cut to the chase. I'm gonna go into the Epilogue. Because, that's something that appeared in the menu after I quit the game last time, and I'm just like, okay, gotta do this next stream. So, many years later. Oh, this is the ending where I leave that one area in the desert. The narrator, where I was fast forwarding the narrator. Okay, none of the horizons are moving any closer to me. Expected a whole desert, or the epilogue to be just Stanley wandering through the desert. Oh, this house. Museum of Memories. That. This generator's still working. Trying to get a trophy for hey, how's it going? There's a trophy for playing for there's the E9's blog. So many things. I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with the sequel. I am with its sequel. Doing pretty good myself, thank you. Where the first game teemed with originality, the Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fanbase. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asks for. An infinitely deep hole. Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even the diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve from... Can I scroll down anymore? What's this? Yeah. Cat dog board? Oh my gosh. I love that Nickelodeon reference. That is great. Can I scroll down this more? Saw April 27th. That was actually the release date of it. Going on?
Jim.
The gym button.
Jim.
Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched... Jeff. Oh, it's Jim. I swear, that's my name.
Jim.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Jim. Yeah. Oh yeah. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise, but a disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions as outlined in a press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. Oh, yeah. We thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been farther from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Scores in history. Oh, lowest. It's hidden there. Mm-hmm. Get on the green. Tech reviews, garden animal entertainment. They got the point. Stanley Parable 2 had so much feature. Do I choose? So sweet. Oh, is this where I just came from? Yep. That's where I just came from. Sweet.
Jim.
I'm gonna press all the gym buttons.
Jim. Stanley.
Oh,
Jim.
what's this?
Stanley.
Stanley. Yes. It's a different gym. Collectibles. 21 of 6. 26 of 6. The narrator will come back. Did the narrator age and die? What happened? Oh! It's nice to see you. It's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise. What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. So obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together, we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple. Do is change the number in the game's title screen. So need a really dumb subtitle for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for a game. Imagine I have to type. Oh, no. I just have to. Stanley Parable 3. The last ever. Okay. Dr. Crocodile. A game of story. Stanley's tiny octopus. Explosion. Circles. Crocodile. Octopus. Yes. Okay, wait. Dr. Octopus. Spider-Man. Okay, you know, I'm going with my first choice, Crocodile Octopus. The Stanley Parable 3, Crocodile Octopus. It's absurd, I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end, and nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work, no need to do that. It's just it'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again. New title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Let's do it. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. You know what? Since you put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. See, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you that broken trophy, did he? Of course not. Couldn't expect him to. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright then. The trophy machine is all fixed. See, I'm on your side. It's together. To keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable 3, Crocodile Octopus. Okay, random card. Yeah, I don't know if the playthrough the entirety of Tuesday Trophy will work
This
now.
is the story of a man named Stanley.
Because it's 10 minutes after. I don't know if the...
Stanley worked for a company in a
menu
big building
counts.
where he was employee number 427. Employee number
I
427's
might just have to
job
try again.
was simple.
Week.
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, apparently for the Tuesday
And then one day, something
thing.
very peculiar happened.
you actually
Something
have
that
to
would
play for
forever
24
change
hours.
Stanley.
You could change
Something
the date
he would
and
never
time to
quite
like
forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an
whatever,
hour when he
the
realized
day
that
before,
not one
like a
single
minute before
order
Tuesday.
had arrived on the monitor for him to
But you
follow.
can't just skip
No one had
ahead
showed
while
up to
you
give
had
him
the game loaded.
instructions, call a meeting,
You
or even
actually
say
have to play
hi.
it.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
For the 10-year
Something was
trophy,
very
though,
clearly
you can
wrong.
still you can do
Shocked,
you can
frozen
cheese it that way.
solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Still has the stickers. Did. Okay. Let's see. So... where'd that
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Actually, it's 3. I don't think even the narrator
Yes, you
knows
see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
So I remember all the 2 puns everywhere.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Ooh, yes, the new free trophy. The machine shall work this time.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, there it is. Test trophy. Please ignore.
As you can see, the machine is not working yet since... Wait. What in the holy hell is going on? You got the trophy? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched?
Maybe.
Oh, God. Composure. Composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
I think the narrator's nervous. Actually, now to think about it, I'm live streaming. Or
What
I'm
else?
being watched.
What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Was there any other trophies to be... The jumping circle. Oh, still 0 jumps remaining. That didn't reset. Settings world champion. Oh. Yeah, the thing is... Okay, so... This trophy... Settings... I did look up a guide. I literally have to click bit by bit, one at a time. I can't just hold things down. Yes. So yeah, I can't actually just hold down the button to readjust everything. I just gotta click edit. I think I have my depth of view at 71. Or field of view, not depth of view. Camera sensitivity. It's fine. I hope I don't have to do this all in different languages. That would be kind of irritating. I mean, probably don't to know what it's saying to like get it all done. Oh, I do? Oh shit, okay. I'll have to do it all in every language. Oh, oops. I accidentally clicked up. Sheesh. I forget what number I had this on. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll work on... Okay, yeah. I think I can't go into that room until I do all this, and I don't know when I'll be able to come back here. So, I might actually have to do all of this on stream. Ah, dang it. The fastest way for me to do this also makes me bump up for some reason. Just kind of put my thumb on the arrows and just use my hand. Just kind of smack my thumb like that. Ah, you see? Ah, okay. Nah. Probably have to... Audio. Oh, this is gonna take so long. Gonna be the settings world champion. Can just put that all the way up. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yes, I know. Oh shoot! I was holding it down.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
This is a story about...
This is the story of a man named
Like to
Stanley.
take a moment, just sit right there. Stanley, walk around to the narrator. Okay. Oh shoot! I was holding it down too much. Back to 30.
This is the story of a man named...
Shoot. Nah, 40. Just in case.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Settings champion. Let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Music.
This is the story...
This is a store? This is not a store. What are you talking about here? Settings champion. Settings champion. World settings champion. This game basically just became a clicker. The clicks are getting quieter. I swear it's still 30 degrees out. Like, it's like... Hey, I got it! Okay, I really did only need to do it in one language. Canada. Let's see. British Columbia, Canada, specifically. A city near Vancouver. Let's see. Yeah, it's like 12:23 at night. And it is currently... I'm trying to refresh the weather, the weather. But yeah, it's like 30. It says 31 degrees. Yeah. Okay, it's 22 degrees and it's nighttime. That's a hot night. That is a hot night indeed. 22 degrees at night. Yeah, you can actually kind of see how the sweat is messing up my hair. Oh, yes. Okay, the door opens outward. So.
Ah, I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion trophy. Well done. You've experienced every setting, traveled to all corners of the settings menu. There's nothing you haven't
The
seen.
trophy is
so
that
just
image,
for you,
actually.
in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm including an entirely new setting, something called bumpscosity.
Oh, you thought it was cold.
What exactly is bumpscosity? Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider and that it'll be accessible from the settings menu. We'll sort out the rest of the details later. I hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable 2.
Like the meme. I'll have to read that. It's like, you are the champion of setting all the sliders to all possible numbers. Please enjoy this room. This is your room. It's made just for you. Ever set the settings slider to every possible settings. Turn that setting off. Viscosity. Oh, excellent. Don't need those labels on. So what is bumpscosity? Okay. Door just close. Is whenever I come close. Viscosity level 50. Don't see anything. Is bumpscosity. It's only certain numbers. 100. Just David Foster. Okay, bumpscosity 1000. Starting to think that this doesn't actually do anything. Door lead to nowhere.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday.
But then,
which would you go with?
Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Yes.
Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Haha. Psychology, bitch. Now they'll have blue balloons everywhere.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Alright. Couldn't possibly be new.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah, you know, the ending where you fast forward. Good times, good times. Did I get anything for adjusting bumpscosity? You know what bumpscosity is? It's just a trick. hole. I think I'll actually listen to the narrator this time. I do the hole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Okay.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Sure thing.
Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole.
Already did it.
Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
It's a nice hole.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Oh, the teleport button sure isn't working.
Is the, teleport button not working?
How predictable.
You sure? Well, I mean...
It's like I have never been here before.
I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
Look at the detail
I'm out.
in that.
Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the whole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
It's a whole ass elevator. Change your perspective. Just a random elevator of infinite possibility. Bobbies.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's
Upside down, Stanley.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off.
Yeah, the
Drifting away
claymation
into
one is
dreamland.
creepy.
But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
My elevator. Sit back here.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
So blocked off the main hole.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine...
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name.
Okay, fine.
Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first.
Sure.
Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Why not?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
What? The Jim button. Please. No! Jim! Yeah. Jim
Maybe I'll
moved
only
onto
let people
drugs.
named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Someone's name was actually Jim. She played this. Oh yeah, by the way, get the chance, I highly recommend that QR code. It's like a... Yeah, Jim is not here. It leads to a website, and then which you can also find a YouTube video you can only find on that through that website. Bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem of the game.
Favorited the video.
It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Yes. Brave Stanley.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Has my sticker.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Thank you.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
This bucket. Such a lovely bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Go except the collectibles room, I guess. I've already been here. Trail.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Damn. Okay, please no screenshots.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Yeah. I like the jumping.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game.
What else?
Would it possibly work?
Fuck it, of course.
But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Skip the intro. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
12th birthday,
What could it mean?
Stepneys.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's the bucket. I'm gonna ignore that new content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I did. Press 8 on the keyboard.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Spam. Eight. Okay.
8.
Oh, I got the trophy.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Eight.
2845.
Got it. 8888. Keep doing this until you open the door.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself.
Thank you.
And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Thank you, sir. Time to get going. Now, I'm gonna get one of the true endings. Did write down a code. Follow the code after
Descending
I turn off the
deeper
machine.
into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Indeed.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What's on that paper? Employees should never, under any circumstances, attempt...
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Or... you could turn them.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then?
2 minutes.
Let's say...
But then it gives me extra time out of pity.
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
3, 3,
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
I got it wrong, didn't I? Oh, shit. Okay. Shoot. Okay. I have to look up this guide again. Oh, that's bullshit.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I swear I got it. Maybe it's because I clicked 4 too fast for like a...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door
Press
on
the
his
number
left.
buttons in order. Okay. 5344 53 215 215 332 332. Let's see. Once the timer hits 8, press the big red.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Hey, how's it
Feeling
going,
a
man?
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
See
to
if
his
this
boss's
person
office.
walked near the door. That as if we get too close. Let's see.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to
Specifies
discover
that you
not an
have to do
indication
the
of
8
any
thing.
human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the
Okay, yeah,
boss's
the door
desk.
did shut.
What could its purpose
This
be?
person's playthrough.
In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Bump zero, but whatever. That hitting the wrong button doesn't actually matter at the end there. Just as long as he opens the door. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We'll see. See what we can do.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
The strength around. Do I have the speed?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed
I gotta
to
make sure that
go,
door shuts.
turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are. A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
I am
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second
Enable
of your
backup
inevitable
power.
life from
Oh,
the
shit.
moment we fade in
I'm supposed to
until
press
the
something
moment
else as well.
I say,
Shit.
happily ever after.
I'm supposed to press something else too, aren't I? Okay, hold on, let me... Oh, I'm just gonna freaking... It's driving me insane. Okay, please tell me. Doing this right. I know I'm doing this right. It says I got... Press the button at 8XX. Unless the code is different on like the... Okay. I'm gonna specifically look at the PlayStation version. See if... Let's see. Let's see. What's the name of the trophy? Gosh, welcome back. This is a trophy, right? This is a trophy or just... Okay. No, I usually hate looking at Google on stream, but... Yeah, Stanley Parable Mind Control Facility Puzzle.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, I think I do have to type in the correct code.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take, too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yeah. Apparently you can actually find the code elsewhere in the game. So, I'm gonna... I really should try. This guy seems to be doing something completely different. Oh. Darn it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So some people are doing different things.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Find out. Okay, you have a good night, bud. Oh, I missed it. Dang it. Shoot.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or
Actually, I could just do this. So if I go to the lounge...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We go to the lounge.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Find
open doors,
the
this was
code.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
Might be
perfectly
different
well.
in every game.
Perhaps he
Who knows?
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Should adjust my field of...
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point,
Who
Stanley's
farted?
obsession with
That's
this
one
room
of the-
bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left. Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Maybe it is. Those. This is simply the code for the emergency exit gate, but there is a button before full. This area before the two sets of open doors. There's paper littered on the floor. The code by the books. This may also appear in the... Oh! Okay. The rooms during the confusing ending. It's going.
But at last,
In the game again. So I need to find this code. It's hidden in the game somewhere.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Okay. So the code could possibly be in here somewhere.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dang it. Yeah, just my field of view. Turn viscosity off, whatever that even does. Oh, maybe the field of view has to go the other way. Come on. Just have to really do that next time.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nothing here. Okay.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
Dude, I am wasting.
Really worth it.
Okay. The code doesn't seem to be here.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why, but at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Get how to get the confusing ending. Darn it. Let's see. Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Cool, thank you very much.
That's her,
Oh, no.
Stanley. Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the phone?
Yes, I did. Also, I'm going to change my field of view back because I'm kind of getting... Nope, 70.
Now, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible.
Unless,
let me double check.
let me guess. He's going to humor me with another video.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Yep.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
No. We watched it.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness, it's 4:30. I'm supposed to be having a back.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please. Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Controller almost fell out of my lap.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Countdown
he
cannot be
entered the
stopped
door
in
on
any
his
way,
left.
shape, or form unless the heavy...
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Timeline map.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it.
I originally intended this to be the last
stream. All the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained